Hey y'all, welcome to Jelina's house. Today I'm in my kitchen, and the reason I'm in my kitchen today is I'm doing some orange marmalade. Okay, I have these two huge orange trees in my yard with one lemon tree. Every year I'm donating lemons and oranges to all my neighbors, family, and friends. Whoever wants them, just take them. Well, then I still have a whole bunch left over, but I just cannot stand the waste food. So today I'm going to start canning today, and I'm going to show you how I do my orange marmalade. It's a very basic recipe. It's a simple recipe. It's just a long, drawn out process. So a lot of people kind of freak out when they hear about canning. Guys, don't stress over canning. Anybody can do canning, okay? But it's just a long process. I think that's why a lot of people really don't do it. In this day and time, guys, it's a lot cheaper to just go to the grocery store and buy you a jar of Smokers, because the time you buy all your sugar and everything, I mean, jars at Walmart are a lot cheaper. But you know what? When you made it, it's always better, and it always tastes better. And I just love giving it to all my neighbors. Like when I make it, I just want to give it to everybody. I mean, I keep enough for myself, but I can't eat 50 jars. So I like to just share whatever I'm doing. You know, share the love, you know. Here, have one here, you know. It's all good, but we're going to start the process. I'm going to start cutting up my oranges. I was fixing to say onions. Cut my oranges, and I'm going to cut my lemons, and we're going to start. I've already got one batch on cooking, and I got my pot with my water in it that I already got my jars in. And so we're going to start all the process, explain what you need to do and how to start this process. Okay, guys, let's get going. Okay, guys, now you're going to need 6 large oranges, whatever size you got, and 2 lemons. So we're going to start this process. Make sure you get a really good heavy-duty pot. So we're going to slice these up, and you want to remove the seed. So keep the rind on there. Do not remove the rind. And just start slicing, little bitty thin slices. There's a lot easier ways to do this with slicers and stuff. I just do it the hard way. But you just start slicing just like this, thin slices. Remove all the seeds. Do not leave any seeds in there. And once I get this orange done, I'm going to do a lemon real quick, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing here. So we're going to remove all of our seeds. You don't want to keep any seed. Okay. And see how thin it is? You want it thin. Thin slices. Because you're going to have to cook this down. And the thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to cook down. You want to get a candied one. So, you know, it takes a little bit. The process is a little long. So, I think I got the dullest knife in the house. Got my bread knife. I don't know why I got my bread knife. Same thing with the lemon. This is my lemon from my garden too. Slice it thin. Remove all the seed. And I don't cut it in half, I just leave it like this, because when you start cooking it down, it's pretty much going to kind of disintegrate anyway. So you don't have to worry about it being fancy or whatever. You know, just cut thin slices, but make sure you remove your seed. So we're getting it. Just takes a little bit. You know, canning is a tedious process. It's not something that if you're in a hurry, you don't want to start canning. Canning's not something that's really simple. It's just a lot of time consuming. And it's not glamorous, or you're just not going to look hot in the kitchen, because you're going to be hot in the kitchen. Because it gets pretty warm over the pot that's cooking. But it's all worth it in the end, because you get your nice little jellies that taste so good. And you know what's in it too. Like when you go to the store, all the jellies and stuff, you really don't know what the fruits are like when they pick them, and made the jams. This way you know what your jams are and you know how they're made. And like I said before, it makes a good gift for your neighbors, your family, your friends. These seeds, I mean, I have no fingernails because of all my cakes, so I don't like having fingernails because I don't like the stuff getting up underneath my nails with the kitchen when I'm cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump it in here with my juices. And you're going to continue to do this until you get every one of your oranges and lemons done. Make sure you drain your juices in here. Okay, now that I got all my oranges cut up and my 2 lemons, so that was 6 oranges and 2 lemons. Now you're going to need 8 cups of water. Dump your 8 cups of water in here. Put it on the top of your stove and cook it for about 45 minutes. Sometimes I even cook it almost to an hour because you want the rind to be really soft, almost like a transparent. They're not going to be really transparent, but more candied-like. You're going to be able to cut it with a spoon, so you know that once you get to that process, then we're going to add our sugar, okay? And the sugar is the same amount. You're going to add 8 cups of sugar, just like 8 cups of water. And then we're going to cook that down for about another 30 to 40 minutes. You want to get it kind of thick on the sides, and we'll start with that process later. But let me get this on the stove. I like cooking it on like a medium, like maybe 7 or 8. Get it going to a rolling boil and just keep it at a rolling boil, but just watch it because if not, it's going to boil out. Now is the time to go ahead and put all your jars in your water. Go ahead and get them, start sterilizing. Make sure all your jars are washed really good and clean. So put all your jars and your lids in there. This batch is usually going to make between 8 and 10 jars. So I already got my oranges on now. And I got it like on, see, it's like on like a 7. So we want to get that coming to a rolling boil. And then we want to get that want to start cooking it for maybe like 40 minutes like I said earlier. So we're cooking that, so make sure you get your jars. So start that process now. In about 45 minutes, we're going to move on to the next process. And this is what it looks like when it's boiling. You want to do this for about 40 minutes. You want to get your rind nice and soft. Okay, I've been cooking it now for about 30 minutes. It's starting to soften up. See the rind, you can actually kind of cut it. So probably about another 15 minutes, then we're going to add our sugar. But this is what it looks like now after about 30 minutes of cooking. Okay. Okay guys, I've been cooking this now for 45 minutes. I'm fixing to add 8 cups of sugar to it. Here we go. Dump the sugar in there, stir this around. Let's get this stirred around. Then we're going to dump the other 4 cups in. So we got 8 cups total. Eight cups. There we go. We want to bring this back to a boil. Get it boiling really good because you want to get this to if you got a candy thermometer, you want to get it to 222. That's going to be a really nice form for your jams. Okay, so we're going to mix this in. And then we're going to cook this. I usually cook it for about another 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to add me a box of shear gel. I like putting shear gel in my jams and marmalades because the reason why, or fruit packing, is whatever you prefer. But it keeps your jams fresh and it keeps them from turning a nasty brown looking thing. But anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, it's at a rolling boil. You want to keep it like this. It's been boiling now for about 15 minutes. So we're going to give it about another 15 minutes like this. A good constant roll. Okay. Make sure you keep skimming. Make sure you skim all of that stuff off the whole time. And you only stir every now and then. You don't want to stir all the time. Not at this process. So just make sure you keep getting all the skim off. Just skim it. All the foam. You want all the foam. You don't want it on there. See how it collects on the side? So just keep skimming it off. I'm gonna let it go for about another 15 minutes. Just like this, at a good heavy roll. But make sure you don't like let it boil out, because if it gets on your stove, it's gonna be really messy and it's really hard to clean up because now you have sugar in it. Okay. Now we're gonna add our shear gel. I'll go ahead and put my shear gel in here. Stir it up really good. And then I'll let this go for another like 10 or 15 minutes. And then after that, you're gonna see a little thickening. And then I shut it off. And then I start taking my jars out. And I start doing all the process. So let's get this all stirred in. It's gonna be some little, you'll see some little white chunks in there. It'll dissolve real quick. And see, it's still real watery. That's normal. It's gonna start thickening. You wanna get it till you roll and boil again. So we're gonna do this about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do next, okay? Okay. Shear gel, whether you use the unsweetened or regular. I use the original. Okay, we're gonna bring it back to a rolling boil. There we go. You're gonna see on the sides it's gonna start thickening, like the color's gonna start changing. See how the color's changing? It's getting more like a caramel look to it. That's what we want. So we're going to do this, and make sure you keep all of that stuff skimmed off the top, okay? See, like that little side stuff, make sure you don't have any of that when you start your process with your cannon. Okay. It's looking really pretty, guys. I'm so glad I'm almost done. This is like my 4th batch. Okay. I've been cooking this at a hard boil for about 30 minutes with the shear gel in it. Now I'm ready to start dipping it up. This is what it looks like. I did a test. So you got the first one is a little too runny. See how that is? Okay, this is my last one. See how it's like a gel? That's what you're looking for. So just get you a plate and just keep testing it until you get it that texture. See? There you go. Okay, now I'm going to start taking my jars and I'm just going to start dumping it out. Okay, we're almost done here. This process is almost done. See the foam? You want to skim that off. You want to keep all the foam off. And this is what it's going to look like when I'm getting ready to pour it up. Get all the foam off. You don't want the foam on there. So I'm fixing to scoop my jars out. You see how it's thickening on the sides? See how the sides are like a caramel looking color? We're at the process now that we can pour it up. See, it's thick. Still a little watery, but it's thick, and it sits for like 24 hours and then it's ready. But just get you a bowl. This is the bowl that I have, and I've been skimming. And just keep skimming your foam off. Okay, now we're fixing to move on to the next step. Okay guys, I'm fixing to start taking my jars out. So what I do is I take a few jars at a time out. I don't take a whole bunch out at one time because you want to keep your jars hot. So I'm going to set them on a towel. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Let me get the jars out. Get all the water drained out of it. Very hot. Be really careful. This will scald you. So I'm going to take like maybe 4 out at a time right now just to give you an idea of what's going on. Let me get my little lids. And I use baby tongs. These tongs are actually my baby's tongs that's actually 20-something years old now that I saved. And I've been using them all these many years. This is what I used to do with their bottles with. I know, right? I'm old as dirt. I know. I don't throw anything away. I'm such a pat rat. Okay. And look, there's a little handy dandy gadget. It's got a little, see that? It's got a little magnet on the end of it. You need one of these. These things are perfect because you can just slip in here and you can grab your lid. Well, that's hot. But see, it just magnetizes your lids. And you just pull them out, set them on your little jar. I'm fixing to show you this with my camera. It's really hard to do it with a phone. Okay. Then you're going to need one of these little handy dandy gadgets here. And this is what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take it, I'm going to flip the camera around. Guys, this is what it's looking like right now. Got my jars, got my lids already set. Like I said, I only do a few at a time because you want those lids to seal. Now I'm going to use just like a regular measuring cup or whatever you can get, and you dump it to the glass. This is what I'm talking about. Remove this. You need to wipe your ring of your jar. Make sure your ring is really clean because you don't want any seeds or anything on the top of your jar because that's going to mess up your seal. Make sure you clean the top of your ring. Then take your jar, put on there. Take the bottom from the top. I'm going to have to flip it around. Do a towel. Sit it on the bottom. Take a piece of it here and twist it. Make sure it's twisted really tight and sealed on there. Make sure you don't have any jelly around the outside of it. Like I said, make sure you wipe that with a wet cloth in the top of it. And then you want to set it to the side for 24 hours. Do not mess with this until 24 hours. And just set it down. But this is what it looks like. There you go. Guys, we're finally done. We have marmalade. I'm exhausted. Okay, anyway, let's go over a few things here. First of all, let this set for 24 hours. Do not move it. Put it somewhere where you're not going to disturb it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, look at the top of the lid and you want to make sure it's indented. If it's not indented and you could do like that, it makes a popping noise. It's not sealed. So if that one doesn't seal, put it in the refrigerator. It's good for a little while in the refrigerator. Just eat those first. But you shouldn't have maybe one that doesn't seal. It all depends on what kind of lids you got, if they're old or whatever. But normally I don't ever have a problem with my lids. I usually have one that usually don't seal. So that's all you got to do, guys. And I hope you enjoyed my video. And if you have any questions, just comment at the bottom of it and I'll get back to you and I'll try to help you in any way I can. But this is a really good recipe and I really hope y'all enjoy it. Thank you.